I'm the Client Service Manager. Before I introduce our presenters, I have a few housekeeping things I would like to talk to you about. The first is how to submit questions during the course of our webinar today. You'll see in front of you our webinar pane. You can type your questions here and be sure to hit send. The orange arrow that you see circled up in the upper left corner will open the pane or close or minimize the pane. So to bring it back, simply click on that orange arrow. Our presenters will be handling your questions at the end of the webinar as time permits. Also, I'd like to remind you that to get the best sound quality for today's webinar, if you are using a telephone, please click on the Use Telephone that's circled in blue. However, if you are listening through your computer or laptop, please click on Use Mic and Speakers, which you see circled in red. Also, just to let you know that to qualify for California CE, you must be using a personal computer, no PDAs, and log in with your own information and unique URL, which you've received by email once you registered. Be logged into our online software for at least 50 consecutive minutes. Actively respond to at least 75% of the polling questions. We'll be asking 5 polling questions during the webinar, so be sure you respond to at least 75% or 4 to be safe. Also complete the evaluation survey at the end of the webinar. So I'm going to introduce our 2 presenters. Our first presenter is Paul O'Grady. Paul has 18 years of assurance services experience with nonprofits and is our nonprofit industry practice leader here at Armanino McKenna. He also serves on the firm's Accounting Standards Technical Committee. And some of his clients include the Fine Arts Museums of San Francisco, also known as the DeYoung, Goodwill Industries of San Francisco, Glide Memorial and Foundation, and the Easter Seals of the Bay Area. Our second presenter is Lesley Carballo, a Senior Audit Manager here at Armanino McKenna. She started with us in 2001, and she enjoys working closely with the Executive Director and CFOs and helping with them with achieving their missions. Her audit experience includes working with large public charities, foundations, nonprofit, healthcare organizations, as well as private schools. And she has presented to audit committees and worked closely with CFOs at these nonprofits to go beyond the numbers and really help them both drive their strategic initiatives and meet their compliance regulations. So we're very happy that Paul and Lesley are here today. Next, I want to go through our learning objectives for today. During today's webinar, we are going to be reviewing our key governance and fiduciary responsibilities for management and board members. This may be somewhat of a review for some of you, but there are some important ones that we want to make sure that you are aware of. Next, we're going to talk about discussing audit committee requirements in California. Then we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about the audit committee and some of the key considerations that you should have in forming an audit committee, particularly important for those of you that are doing this for the first time this year. Then we're going to examine some best practices for audit committees. So our webinar will be organized into 2 sections, the first being key governance and fiduciary responsibilities, and the second will be from the audit committee perspective. And you can see